Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. Today we are talking about getting clear on what's important to you. I think most people struggle with consistency, and it's because they lose sight of their values or even understanding and getting clear on what their values are. So that's where things get messy and we start to start to slip away from us, get out of our grasp, and we're just like, I don't know what to do or where to go because I haven't fully defined that this is important to me, right? Have you ever heard that quote, like, when there's a will, there's a way, right? Or if it's important to you, you won't find an excuse, or, those sorts of things. I think there's truth to that, right? When you have decided you are going to do something and it's super important to you, then the action steps are actually easy, right? And whether they're, not, working out, for example, if you decide you're going to work out 5 days a week because it helps with your mental health and your strength and your energy, and that's important to you, the workout itself might not be easy, but the idea of actually just showing up for it is easier to follow through with when you're focused on what's important to you, right? So this episode was actually inspired because if you've heard, maybe I think you have probably at this point, I would hope, maybe you haven't, because I do probably have some new listeners. I hope I have new listeners on a regular basis. So anyways, I am obviously a registered dietitian. However, I just got my New York State real estate license, and I'm really excited to get my feet on the ground and going. And I actually already have my first client. She's looking to rent somewhere here in the Westchester area. And as I was beginning to kind of help her find the perfect place to rent, she gave me a very wide and broad description of where she was hoping to land. There was not really clear on the town. It was more so like a 25-mile radius outside where she had worked. It was a price range that kind of varied. And then she had gave me like a max amount of price that she would want to spend per month, but then was showing me listings of things that were more than what her cap was. There was times where she had made at the beginning, what she thought was most important to her. She then later would send me listings of things that she wanted to see. And I would kind of remind her, you had mentioned this was a non-negotiable, like we can definitely go still see it and take a look. And it was actually really great for both of us because this was the first time she was renting on her own. And this was also my first time as a licensed real estate agent and showing and helping her to kind of figure out what that looked like. So naturally, I went back into my dietitian hat, and the thing that I do with my clients and that we do with our clients in the Tips with Tony program, in the 6 months of food freedom program, is we will have our clients rate what's most important to them on, there's might be like 5 pillars of health, which I'll get into in a minute. And we'll have them rate and there's no right or wrong. They get to choose, right? As much as we really try to help people understand that the number on the scale, really probably shouldn't be at the top of your priority list because it's so not a clear indicator of your health, wellness, and well-being or relationship with food. It's okay if that's on someone's priority list higher than somebody else's, and everybody has their reasons, and that's totally fine. But I think it's important when you really put it into perspective, it really helps people get more and more clear. And so I actually had my client who was looking for the rental after we went through, I think we had seen about 6 apartments, it felt, she's like, I feel like I'm getting close, but like, I'm not quite there yet. And I said, that's okay. Right now it appears like we have a lot of variance in our options. And if you can give me a little bit more clarity, I think I can help you even more so. So I had her rate on a scale of 1 to 5, the things that were most important to her. So we talked about things like parking, price, location, utilities, amenities, non-negotiables, all the things that I have our clients do within the 6 months of food freedom program. So you would think that by making the list more narrow, it made my job harder, but it actually made my job significantly easier. So that brings us to what I want to help you with today. So if you're struggling to kind of figure out like what to do, how to take care of yourself, how to take care of your health, like what should your next steps be? Maybe you're getting frustrated with the number on the scale. I really want you to take the time to rate the following on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay. So I want you to know, and 1 is the most important, 5 is the least important, okay? So I want you to really think of these 5 areas. So number 1, and this is not, as I say number 1, it's not in the order. This is, you get to choose the order, but I want you to know what the 5 areas are. So number 1 is how you feel. So your energy, are you happy, confident? Like, is that important to you? And if so, on a scale of 1 to 5, how important is it to you? Okay. How much you weigh. So the number on the scale, your body fat percentage, stuff like that. Your athletic performance, hitting PRs in the gym, running, being able to run longer or faster or lifting heavier. That's an area. Another area is like your quality of life. So the ability to have flexibility in meals due to like travel, parties, or family and friend activities, festivities, stuff like that. And then another obviously big component or pillar where you would rate is your health. So free from disease or symptoms, chronic illnesses, acute illnesses, stuff like that. Okay. So to help you with this, I'll go first. Okay. So at the top of my priority list is my health, and that's mental and physical health. Like health is number 1 for me. That's absolutely most important to me. Second is how I feel. I don't want to feel sluggish, bloated, tired, fatigued, right? I want to have energy. I want to be confident. I just want to feel good, right? Number 3, and I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. Number 3 and number 4 were tied. So number 3 for me is quality of life. So I do want to have the ability to have the flexibility in meals due to like having a social life and, all of that stuff. However, I even as I'm recording this, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should swap it. Number 4 is athletic performance. And fitness is important to me. I feel, and I think because it's so much tied to how I feel, and it helps me with my confidence, and it helps me with my energy, and it helps me with my mental health. And I like feeling strong, and I like seeing progress, right? So as I'm recording this, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is number 3. I think athletic performance is 3, and then quality of life is 4. Not because I don't care about my quality of life, but because I am so clear on what it takes for me to feel good, and I know how to be flexible. Like, I don't need to be too flexible, and I'm like, I think I'd be okay within like the parameters of what I figured out, what works for me. So for me, I think I'm switching it as I'm recording this right now. I think quality of life, believe it or not, I think athletic performance for me might be a 3 and quality of life is a 4, because I'm okay and I'm not going to stress out if they don't have what I want at a restaurant, or I think that comes down to me healing my relationship with food in my body. It's okay. What they have is what they have, and I'll figure it out. Right. And I understand that not everybody has that, and everybody else is different. So that's totally okay. So anyways, and then obviously number 5 for me, guys, is weight is not that important to me. It matters, but it really doesn't matter that much. And if you need clarity on that, I would highly, 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 highly suggest you go and grab a copy of my book, Once Upon a Diet, on Amazon, so you can read all of the chapters. Chapter 5 does a really good job of explaining this, of why weight doesn't matter. But chapter 5 and chapter 6, actually, of the Once Upon a Diet book, my book, is a really great, almost overview of this podcast episode, but in way significant detail. And I actually have people, rate other things like bowel movements, energy, body image, so many other things. But I think for starters, this is a good place to start. So let me know. Message me on Instagram at tips_with_Tony with an I. And let me know if you were to do the rating system, how would you rate, how you feel, how much you weigh, athletic performance, quality of life, health. How would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 5? What's most important to you to least important to you? Okay, I'm curious. From there, if you're stuck with making a decision, check in. How important is this to me? Is this on the top of my priority list, or is it on the bottom? So should I be stressing over this right now, or can I let it go? What shifts do I need to make so that I can be closer to maybe number 1, which is for you, maybe it's how you feel. If you want to be happier, have more energy, be more confident. What shifts do you need to do? What shifts do you need to make to actually get you there? right? So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, like I said, take a screenshot of it, share it on your story, tag me at tips_with_Tony with an I, message it to a friend, do whatever you got to do. Get a copy of my book, Once Upon a Diet, on Amazon. I'll put all that information link in the show notes so you can go ahead and learn more about this and why figuring out what's most important to you and getting clear on what's most important to you will really, 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 really help you. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.